In this video, I want to talk about creating a navigation form in Microsoft Access. I want to talk about how to create the navigation form, associating objects with tabs in the navigation form and naming those tabs, and then viewing the results. To begin, I want to talk first about what a navigation form is. And in order to do that, I want to go over here to the navigation form that I've created. So basically, a navigation form is a form that has a number of tabs in it, and those tabs each have objects associated with them, specifically forms and reports. So, for example, I can click here on this tab, and it has the form FRM queries associated with this tab. And here I can click on this tab, and I have two tabs underneath it, patient, and so then this particular form is associated with this sub-tab, or I can click here and see another form that's associated with this particular sub-tab. And then over here, I can click on reports, and I have two sub-tabs, one for the report invoices by item that's showing currently, or I can click on this sub-tab, and it will show me the report for visits and invoices. And there it is. So there are a few things that I want to make sure that I make mention about navigation forms, and that is that although navigation forms are made of tabbed sets of information, they can be tabbed so that they have one level, or they can have two levels. So for example, on this particular form, each tab can have up to two levels. You don't have to have two levels, you can have one level. When you have two levels, you can have the sub-tabs listed here on the side, on the left side, or on the right side. So now I'm going to go ahead and close this navigation form because I am going to reconstruct it so that you can see it. So I'm not going to save it. And I'm going to go ahead and move forward with creating my navigation form. To do that, I'm going to click on Create. I'm going to click on the down arrow for the navigation button here. And I'm going to click on Horizontal Tabs to Levels, just like you saw earlier. And here we have a navigation form, at least the beginnings of it. So I'm going to first change the label of the navigation form here. And so I'm just going to come here, click inside, and then select it, and I'm going to say Chatham Health Services. And then I'm going to move forward with creating my tabbed levels of information that I want to put in this form. Okay? So first I'm going to want to have a tab that shows my forms. So I'm going to say forms. You don't have to. There's lots and lots of different ideas about how to create a navigation form in terms of how to design it. This is just one example. There are lots and lots of different ideas about it. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'll click here and I'll click on Query. I'll type queries, and then here I'll type reports. Okay, so now I have 3 different tabs. And so I'm going to begin to associate my forms with this Form tab. So I'll come here and I'll click on my form patient and I'll drag it up to this Add New tab. And now this patient information form is associated with this tab. And then I'll also come down here and I'll get this Visits and Invoices form and I'll drag it up to the Add New tab. And so now I've associated 2 forms with this with each tab, okay, that is under this particular heading or tab. So I'll move on and I'll click here with Queries, and then I'll drag this Form Queries up here to Add New, and now I have my Queries form associated with this set of tabs. And I'll click here under Reports and I'll drag the Report Invoices by Item up here. And now it shows the report Invoices by Item. Next, I'm going to take this particular tab, or report, excuse me, and I'm going to drag it up here to Add New. And so you can see now this Visits and Invoices report is associated with this tab. So let's go back over this. I have this tab, and under this tab I have 2 more tabs that are showing forms that are in the navigation pane. I can click here on Queries and I can see the Queries form, and I can click on Reports and it will show me tabs for 2 different reports. Okay. Now, I'm not really in love with the names on these tabs, so I'm going to go ahead and change that. And so I'll double click in here and I will highlight that and press delete. Then I'll come here to this tab and I'll click on it, and then I'll click in it again and I'll select the FRM. But I also want spaces in my words, so I'm going to insert spaces and I'll press enter. And now I'll move over to the Queries tab, and usually you can click in a tab and change it in the layout mode, but in this case I think because it's just one tab under this tab, it doesn't seem to want to change. So I'm going to right click and go into Design View here, and I'm going to click in the tab and change it there. And then I'll just go back into Layout View. And now you can see that the tab Queries has changed. So now I'll go and I'll click on Reports. And here I want to change what this particular tab says. And I'll put in a space, press enter, and then I'll move over to the next tab and click in it and change what it says to my linking and press enter. And so now I have done everything I need to do to set up my navigation form. So here, let's go ahead and see our results. going into Form View. And here we have our results. So if I click on Forms, here is my patient form. I'll click on Visits and Invoices. And there is my Visits and Invoices form. I click on Queries, and it shows my query form. I click on Reports, and it shows my Invoices by item and Visits and Invoices form. So to go back to our agenda here, what we talked about today was creating a navigation form in Microsoft Access. We associated objects with tabs once we created a navigation form. We gave names, or we named the tabs so that they had meaning. They showed groupings of what was underlying those tabs. And then we viewed the results. Thank you very much for watching this video.